Hello everyone, PokePie here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Pokemon video. Today's video is about the top 10 favorite cards in my Pokemon collection. I have been collecting Pokemon since 2019. Yes, I know I got introduced right in the boom, right before the COVID pandemic there, but I've been collecting for a while and I'm pretty proud of my collection and how far it's grown. And while when people think of the top 10 cards in their collection, instantly their mind goes towards the dollar sign that is attached to the card. And while some of the cards showcased here in this video aren't necessarily the most valuable, they're what really matters to me. Whether this is the artwork, the story behind the card, or its sentimental value. So let's get started right into the countdown. Of course, no top 10 is complete or can begin without introducing some honorable mentions. And for me, kicking off the honorable mentions are the Series 1 starter decks with Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle here. These cards right here, while they're brand new to the Pokemon hobby, they certainly have very nice design and they have a nice story behind them too. I mean, who doesn't know Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle, as they are the OG trio that basically started it all, introducing our love for Pokemon. Another honorable mention is this illustration rare Meowth from Phantasmal Flames. I absolutely adore this card. I just really love the artwork, and if you can see in the background, it looks like there's the Pokemon Center just in the background there, which is awesome. And another honorable mention is going to be this Rayquaza Ultra Rare from Silver Tempest. Currently, Silver Tempest is one of those sets that I am trying to master, and I am 99% complete. The only card I'm missing, take a guess, it's going to be the Lugia, the illustration rare. And that is the only card I am missing. This Rayquaza here, having 2 copies of this is awesome. This card is gorgeous. I do really think it's right up there with the one from Evolving Skies in terms of Rayquaza cards. Rayquaza, however you want to call it. But this one is pretty nice as well. It's a close second or even a 1A, 1B type scenario for me. Alrighty, let's get started. At the number 10 spot is going to be this Pikachu Mimikyu Tag Team promo right here that came in the blister pack. This card is unreal. One of my favorite cards of all time, of course, as it's in the video here, but I love the way this card looks. Super nice, and I just love it's almost like a reflection. Pikachu looking in a mirror with the Mimikyu there, and he looks startled. But this card is so nice, and this is a card that reminds me of my childhood. It is from Legendary Collection. It is a PSA 9 Dark Raichu Reverse Holo with the fireworks there. Unreal. I bought this card 7 years ago. And the reason why I bought it is because it holds sentimental value to me. It reminds me of my childhood, a time where things were simpler, all we had was our Game Boy, and no worries. Another card that reminds me of my childhood, especially growing up with Pokemon, is going to be this Erika's Venusaur right here. I love the holo pattern on this card. This card too reminds me of my childhood. It reminds me of my youth, growing up with Pokemon, whether it's playing the Nintendo 64 Pokemon Stadium or even the Game Boy games, even the GameCube games. Just growing up with Pokemon in this time was so much more simpler. I absolutely love this card. It is so nice, and I just love how Venusaur is off to the side, and it gives you that room in the card where the holo pattern is to showcase the holo pattern. It's super nice, and not really a lot of cards, looking back on it, do that from the old school era, from the Gen 1 era, but I really appreciate this card, and it's truly one of my favorites. Number 7 is going to be this ultra rare Charizard V from the Charizard UPC. And yes, I do have this card graded, and luckily enough, it is a PSA 10. but that's not the reason why I have this card here in the top 10. The reasoning behind it is because this card and the illustration reminds me of my dog. Whenever he is sleeping, I always think of this card, and it's super cool. It's just something that I always look back on, and when I look at it, sometimes my dog is actually right beside me, sleeping in this position, and Charizard is just curled up in a ball, and it always reminds me of him. At the number 6 spot, it's going to be a card that is simply in the top 10 based on the artwork alone. And while this card may be expensive, that's not why I have it in my top 10 favorite cards of all time. And the card itself is going to be the 2023 Detective Pikachu promo. Arcanine is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, right up there with Charizard, Lugia, and Dragonite for me. And the fact that Detective Pikachu is resting on him right here really makes this card pop, and I do love the orange grade guard that I have with it here, but the design on this card is unreal. You really have to appreciate this card in person to appreciate the beauty that is on this card. This is literally a piece of cardboard, and yet it is absolutely gorgeous here at the number 6 spot. We are halfway through my top 10 favorite Pokemon cards of all time, but I want to know what your favorite is in this video, so let me know down in the comment section below. Coming in at the number 5 spot is another promo. This time it's going to be from the 151 UPC, and this is the Mew EX, the gold version here. The fact that you can have a Pokemon card made out of gold or metal is crazy. While this card may be the exact same artwork that they have used before in prior sets and in the current 151 set, the fact that this one stands out to me is really something special. It's gold, and I'll always appreciate that. Coming in at the number 4 spot, I'm not leaving that 151 UPC. In fact, I'm staying in it with this Mewtwo promo from the exact same UPC. This card here is badass, it's cool, it's sick. It's an absolute guys of guys card. While I'm not the biggest fan of Mewtwo, this card here sticks out to me. It reminds me of Godzilla towering above the city, destroying these small buildings in his way, or even Batman floating above Gotham City. And the shine on it is unreal. At the number 3 spot, I have not one, but 2 of the exact same card. And it is the Charizard V-Star from Brilliant Stars, yes, in a PSA 10. This card here has a story. This card for me was one of the biggest chase cards for me in Brilliant Stars way back in 2022. And that time was really special to me. It was a time when I first started dating my now fiance, and we pulled these 2 cards on the opening day of the release, and we were lucky enough to get them graded and come back in a PSA 10. I will never get rid of these. They always remind me of that special time when I was opening up Brilliant Stars with my fiance, and whenever I look back at these cards, I always think of that. I always think back to the early days and stages of our relationship. For me, these cards cherish a moment. They cherish a memory and something that I will never forget with my fiance. Coming in at the number 2 spot is the Evolving Skies Umbreon V in a PSA 10 right here, and I know what you're thinking, this card is really expensive, and it's not at the number 2 spot because of the money or the value of the card. It's at the number 2 spot because of the story. And the story is, one night at Walmart, there was a gentleman and I looking at Pokemon cards. This was back when you can find product on the shelves, and there was one single blister pack left on the shelf at Walmart. So the gentleman was kind enough to let me have the pack, and when I opened it up when I got home, this was waiting for me on the inside. One blister pack of Evolving Skies turned into this, and I sent it off to get graded, and it turned into a PSA 10. And the story behind that is just insane. Maybe luck was on my side, and I really hope, looking back now, that the Pokemon gods blessed that other gentleman who was kind enough to let me get this last pack of Evolving Skies. Coming in at the number 1 spot is a card that is very similar to that of the Umbreon V in the number 2 spot. And this is the Espeon VMAX from Fusion Strike. And yes, I know what you're thinking, Pi, all of these cards have been really expensive, but this card too holds a story. And the story is, during COVID, I was opening up one of those special boxes of the Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon boxes that released with those Unreal promos. And I opened this up with my cousins during COVID over FaceTime. And out of one of the packs of Fusion Strike was this card. The absolute one of the biggest chases you can get in Fusion Strike. And just like the last card, I was lucky enough to get a PSA 10 when I sent it off for grading. And the story behind this is just insane. Our reactions when I pulled this card were so crazy. Everyone was screaming. We were all going nuts during COVID, during a time when there wasn't really much to get excited about. And looking back, every time I look at this card, I always get reminded of this crazy moment that I shared with my cousins. Well, there you have it. Those are the top 10 favorite cards in my Pokemon collection. What was your favorite card you got to see in this video? Let me know down in the comment section below. For more Pokemon content, be sure to keep it locked here, right here on this channel, and click subscribe so you don't miss any new content coming in the future.